Jai Gurudev. Introduction by Swami Shivom Tirath Ji. This book, titled A Guide to Shaktipat, is in your hands, in which the day to day doubts, difficulties, and problems faced by all the sadhaks and readers have been solved after giving deep thought. I have incorporated the questions asked by sadhaks whenever I am on tour or whenever they come to the ashram. Apart from these questions, there may be and there are several other questions that crop up. I have plans to write a series of books on different approaches to God realization and self realization. One book will deal with questions and difficulties pertaining to yoga. One book will deal with matters connected with bhakti, and another will treat the subject of Gyan Marg. In one or two books, the experiences of sadhaks will be incorporated, as reading about other experiences help in creating a sense of eagerness or interest to do sadhana. This book, which is first in the series, has a mixture of all the paths. In fact, Shaktipat is not an independent yoga or system of sadhana. Shaktipat is a means of awakening the Shakti towards the inner consciousness and to make it perform automatic movements, that is, kriyas. After the awakening, depending upon the state of sadhak's inner world and the changes in it, there is progress in the kriyas and changes in them. Just as when sanskar pertaining to bhakti are aroused, kriyas pertaining to shakti occur. So also when sanskar in respect to Hatha Yoga are aroused, kriyas pertaining to Hatha Yoga occur. And so also when Dhyan Yoga sanskar are aroused, kriyas pertaining to Dhyan Yoga occur. In this way, all types of sadhana, upasana, and yogic practices are assimilated in this path. That is why this sadhan is called Mahayog, as it has the mixture of mantra, hat, lay, raj, bhakti, and jnana yog and karma, and which is manifested in the sadhak at different times depending on different state of inner chit. Sadhan is dependent on two things. One, depending on the past deeds, kriyas occur, and secondly, on the basis of tattva. The past deeds of each one are different. Inter alia kriyas also differ. As the chit gets purer, kriyas start to rise above the past deeds and are manifested on the basis of tattvas. In the middle, there comes a stage when, according to his past deeds, kriyas occur depending upon the tattvas. That is why these kriyas are different from each other. As and when kriyas occur depending upon the tattvas, his kriyas will resemble those of other sadhaks of the same state. This point has not been elaborated in this book. In the series of books to be published, attempts will be made to throw light on the above. Some sadhaks have funny thoughts in their mind, and these thoughts are so deep rooted that it is very difficult to uproot them. Just as some sadhaks believe that when Shakti is awakened, it rises from Mooladhar towards Sushmana in a zigzag manner. Such sadhaks are believed to have said that they have seen a snake in the Sushmana as if there is a snake within them. So also there are peculiar ideas about the petals of the flowers present in each chakra, as if these flowers are hung in the body. They also do not understand the alphabets written on these petals. If the alphabets Kam, Lam, Nam, Vam, etc. are written on them, how can a Japanese, European, or American sadhak read them? Matters relating to yoga have also to be discussed, which will be attempted in the next book in the series. By thinking on any topic or concentrating on any subject, the seeds of the subject or object get embedded in us. Doing prayers, japa, meditation, upasana, going on pilgrimage, reading or recital, etc., which gives one pride that I am the doer, are all covered in this sadhan. In this sadhan, the accumulated seeds of past action or sanskar from outside are accumulated in the chit. For example, if any sadhak meditates and does jap of either Shankar, Krishna, or Devi, when his thoughts mature, the sadhak sees the worshipping deity within himself, which is nothing but the interplay of his accumulated seeds of past action, and he is happy. The other sadhan is to wean out or remove from within these accumulated seeds of the past actions, which is possible only when the divine Shakti turns inwards and become active. At this point, one should give up the prayers or meditation wherein you forcibly concentrate and surrender to the divine Shakti and sit for sadhan. Doing japa, meditation, and prayers with a purpose will again fill the chit with further seeds of action. When the purpose of sadhan is to wean out the accumulated seeds of past actions to make the chit pure, it should be remembered that as long as the seeds pertaining to tamoguna, rajoguna, and sattvaguna are within the chit, it will be impure and engulfed by the above qualities. When the Shakti is directed towards the inner consciousness, it cleans the soul of accumulated seeds of past actions, that is, sanskar. In this book, discussions on the above have been done at random. However, it is necessary to elaborate on this issue. To ponder on the above issue, as also several others, and to teach a definite goal is of paramount importance to a sadhak. These shall be dealt by me in the forthcoming series of books. It is hoped that whatever has been written in this book, the sadhaks will read and seriously think it over and try to understand the same, which will help in one's progress in sadhana. With prayers that God will protect love and devote himself to all living beings. Jai Gurudev.